Tervetuloa Maailmankuvia-sarjaan. Tänään minulla on ilo ja kunnia esitellä teille hyvin erityinen vieras. Hän on Gosia ja hän on tullut tunnetuksi ympäri maailman Cosmic Agency kanavansa kautta ja tietenkin UFO-kontaktin, jos tällaista nimeä voidaan sanoa. Mutta annetaanpa hänelle nyt puheenvuoro itselleen tästä aiheesta ja toivotan tervetulleeksi Gosian tähän ohjelmaan. Hello Gosia, it's very nice to meet you right now.
Terve.
Terve. Well, this worldview series, that kind of series that people usually tell us that how they become that person who they are, and we are also talking about that work today, what you are doing, and but let's have a little journey about your background.
A journey about my background?
Yes.
Okay, very short.
Yes.
Because I don't want to focus on that too much.
Yes.
Well, I was born in Poland a long time ago, and when I was 22, something told me that I have to leave the country, and I felt like there was some kind of a, like most of us have this feeling of some kind of a mission that awaits me somewhere in the world, something that I have to go and discover. So I went and lived in different countries, in the United States, in Australia, Costa Rica, and last 10 years in Spain. And I've been always very interested in first spiritual subjects, and then when I was in Australia, and when I was 24 more or less, I started to become interested in the extraterrestrial subjects. I didn't know anything about ETs before that. So I started reading books and being interested, and I have always had this craving to meet them, like to know what they say. Like many people are characterized by their desire to go there and look for UFOs and lights, and they get very excited when they see something in the sky. Well, I was never interested in that. First of all, I never seen anything in my life really worth mentioning, and I was never really looking for that. Like I was always interested in like who is operating those vehicles and why they are here and what they have to say. So I feel very honored that I now have this experience that I have, because it's so much more than just being able to see something in the sky. I actually talk to them, and I have this privilege of knowing what they have to say and sharing that with the world, which is the best part of it, actually, being able to share it. I don't know what else to say about myself. It's actually not that important. I think we should go into what they say and why they are here and how this contact started and all that.
So was it 2017 when you first time had this contact with the Pleiades, or how to say it?
I say Taygetilaisilta Pleiadians because Pleiades is such a huge place, and many people who channel Pleiadians of different ET races, they always say they use these generic names, Pleiadians, but they are very different. There are so many races in a Pleiadian star cluster. 11 interstellar races, and then another topic. Among those interstellar races, there are also other races who are not interstellar. So there's just so many of them, and each of them have different ideas and understanding of things. So I talked to Taygetilaisilta Pleiadians, who are from the star Taygeta, which has 4 planets. And yes, it started in 2017, in the end, December 2017. So this year, December, is going to be 4 years that we have this communication with them, almost daily with some breaks. It's all the time something. You saw me before typing, we're always in touch.
And when I saw that you are connecting to the people, you are also connecting to other human beings in Earth who is also having contact with them.
Well, in that conversation, it's a group conversation that it's me and Robert. Robert, who is a person from Spain, my friend from Spain, who is doing the same work but in Spanish. Yeah. He actually started it first, and then a few months later, I started.
So how did all begin with you? How this first contact actually happened with you?
Yeah.
Can you?
It started actually. Okay, it started in 2017 in September when Robert went to the Ufology Congress in Barcelona, and he met a lady who at that time had the contact with them. And she was not the only one, and we are not the only ones. We always say that we are not the only ones. We're not the elected ones here. They have been talking to hundreds of people around the world, and since 2008, they actually even had that special program, mass official, reaching of the public program, in which around, I don't remember how many of them, but 500 Taygetilaisilta who are on board ships in the orbit. They were actually communicating with people on Earth. That was part of their experiments, part of their program. So in that time, they talked to hundreds of people around the world. It's just that very few people, like us crazy ones, decided to actually okay, let's share this. There are many people who I talk to who have talked to them, but they remain private. So like I always say, it's not only us, it's not just that, we are some chosen ones. I always stress this. Matthias, for example, has also had the opportunity to speak to them, and there are many other people. So when Robert met this lady, the lady introduced Robert to him, and then Robert got me in the conversation with them as well. So that's how it started, and we started talking to the girl called Svaru. She was our main contact, and we started to have deep conversations. First, it was all private, very casual. It was not to be shared. This was not for the public. It was just talking and, them answering some questions and talking about private things, like friends. And then I offered to share this, Robert as well. And we decided this is so interesting and this is so important. There's just so much amazing information that I feel like it's not going to be useful if it just stays with me. It has to be shared. So I asked her, can I share this information? And at the beginning, actually, she was kind of hesitant because there's so much information already on Earth, and so much of it is already contaminated by the CIA and Jesuits and all that. That's another topic. The UFO community is actually heavily infiltrated by the CIA agendas and narratives, more than we imagine. I made a video about that, a few videos about that just recently. So she didn't want to add to that soup of disinformation, information. There's so much already going on. But I told her that, it's for people to discern. If there's so much information that is not correct, I think it's our duty, or that's how I feel, to correct maybe some of these things, explain how things are from your perspective, and then people will decide what they want to make of it, and whether they want to see it as something worthwhile listening to or not. But we shouldn't limit giving that information. I could talk forever, so.
Perhaps you want to clarify a little bit about this method.
Yes.
Because this is something else than a regular channeling.
Exactly. No, because this is not a channeling at all. This is very important. So yes, I forgot to mention that because for me it's already so obvious that I do it this way that sometimes I even forget to mention the method. But the method is different than any other method that I know. Even though it's not the first one, it's not the first contact done this way, but it's a different method than how normally people contact extraterrestrials, which is through channeling, through telepathy, even direct encounters. This is done through the internet. It is done through the internet technology available to Earth, because this is something that is accessible to us, and this is something that is very convenient to them to pass the exact information. Because when you channel, they told us that channeling, yes, it is a real phenomenon, and they channeled as well. But at some point they decided to resort now to this technology because they can pass massive amounts of information this way, which is not going to be distorted by my mind or by my interpretation, by my own understanding of things. Because when you channel, it does filter through your own perception. A little bit, and sometimes it's even difficult to kind of differentiate what is mine, I wouldn't trust myself. I know that if I heard some concepts, and also we talk about specific information on our channels, the crystal core reactors, the stellar navigation, how the UFO works exactly, detailed. I wouldn't be able to pass that information if it was just done by channeling, because when you receive channeling, it's mostly concepts, maybe some information. but it's not as detailed. And it's very important now, what I will say, I don't change anything. So when I receive it, it's done by typing. It's a live conversation, not emails, not Facebook, not WhatsApp. It's a software that we communicate live, and we have a conversation. And then when I make a video from that information, I copy and paste exactly what was said. So I don't change anything. I don't add from myself. I don't distort anything. It is presented exactly as what they said, and that's why it is a much more reliable method than channeling, which they said works, but 98% of cases is very muddy. It's not as reliable. This is direct. So I really love this type of communication.
You said software.
Yes.
Is there a really software which that having like a
Yes.
Chatting with
Yes.
with them? Okay. Is this software developed by humans? Or
Yes. It's they use the Earth technology.
Yeah.
Because this is, there is something called prime directive in space. I know it sounds maybe Star Trekky, but people probably people have to understand that a lot of these concepts were actually put in movies and series on purpose. It wasn't the other way around that we are copying from Star Trek. It's the other way around. The Star Treks and movies, they are giving and filtrating, information, the real information to the people. So there is something called prime directive, and based on that prime directive, in theory, that's another topic, because the federation itself, applies sometimes its own ideas how to contact people. Another topic, but in general, the prime directive clearly states that the civilization cannot be approached with a technology that is beyond the current grade of the technology. So before, they couldn't contact us by the internet or by these methods because it was not available to us. But now we have this available, so they are not going beyond the prime directive. They are not going beyond the non-intervention methods. They are using what's available on Earth.
Yes.
So it's not that they need it, we need it. They do it for us. They could contact us in other way, but we don't have the access to their technology. So they use what's available to us. So now, I'm not a technical person, so I don't know exactly how they do it, but they describe the method how they actually use the holographic computers that they have on board, because digital computers, that's our technology. But they use holographic quantum computers, but they somehow they trespass the signal to the digital computers, and then satellites or whatever, they use what we have here. And this is how this communication goes on, and it's been daily almost for 4 years with some breaks. They never ask for anything. They never even ask for this information to be shared. No one ever approached us saying, could you please say this to the people? There's no agenda. They're just so pure and just offering willingly just because they want to help,
They are operating in a physical level, or are they?
In what level?
Physical level.
Oh yes, this is a very important point as well, that they are physical people, and we have to always make this point very clear to people, because there is a lot of distortion done by the New Age, again, who is presenting those 5D people, because they are in so-called 5D. But there's a lot of distortion there, that presents people, that presents those people to the public as angels or beings of light, pure love and light, or some kind of orbs, perfect, and they are people. Outside Earth, the humanity continues outside Earth. It's not confined to Earth, and the physical biological life extends into space. And there are humanoid-looking races and others, biological beings all over the universe. Life here is not, the life is not limited only to Earth. So yes, they are in so-called 5D, and this is another topic, how the difference between 3D, 5D, the matrix, whatever. But the important point is that they are physical, they are biological, they get tired, they get sad, they get angry, they talk, they sleep, they go to the bathroom. People.
Yes. Well, That's good to hear, because our human kind and those scientists has tried to look at life from this physical level, but they are still trembling in the darkness.
Well, yeah, the science is very much limited here on Earth, and actually they have told us, we have a video, the falsity of Earth science, that we have done like 3 years ago, that actually everything on Earth is based on lies, pretty much everything. So science, religions, the whole system is based on deception and lies, and it's a system that is contained on Earth. It is just specific of Earth, and it doesn't reflect at all what's happening outside Earth. So just because our science says something, it doesn't mean at all that it's true, and most of the times it's not true.
Well, it's also understandable that they don't want to share all those things with us. So what you think that and what they think that when our humankind would be able to meet them in person?
As a humankind? As a humankind, I don't think that we are ready for that yet. And about 2 years ago or so, we made a video also where Svaru, actually it was Svaru who explained that, I don't remember the title exactly, because we have so many videos, 250 videos. I'm making a little bit of promoting here.
Of course.
Yes, where it was stated that the people are not ready yet for the massive contact. The video, which was quite controversial because it's not what people want to hear. And that this is something also that defines this information, that we don't say things just to please people. We are not, going to blow up, fluffy smoke there for people to enjoy and feel good. This is not just to feel good, to make you feel good, but this is truth. This is how things are. They are actually revealing all the operations of the matrix and how the reality works, something that is not always going to make you feel good. Because again, people are looking for that dopamine feeling and new age, we are ascending and everything is going to be good, and they are coming, and this is not what they are about. They are actually telling you exactly how they see things from their perspectives, and sometimes those things are not so nice to hear. But it's like with blue pill and a red pill. Sometimes you need to hear those ugly truths, but to get out of your comfortable life based on lies. That's part of awakening. Awakening is not just waking up to the beautiful and nice frequencies and love and light, but it's just also unveiling and seeing what's around you that is ugly, because this system is based on lies and manipulations and deceptions. That's the truth. What was the point?
Point was just thinking about that. I'm agree with you that we are not even near to ready.
Massive contact.
Yes.
However, there are different groups within the federation itself, because the federation is it's a galactic federation. Actually, it's not called galactic. They just say Federation of United Planets, and it includes hundreds of different races. Among them, the most important ones are Andromedans, Arcturians, Centauri. Also, Taygetans were a big part of the Federation, but they are now kind of going rebellious against the Federation. Again, that's a big story there. Why? Because they don't agree with how Federation runs the Earth. So, going back to the point, so even though they say we are not ready for the mass contact, there might be some groups with different ideas and with different approach to Earth, because every group and every ET race will have different agendas, with different ideas, different perceptions. There are also races that do not belong to the Federation. They are completely all out on their own and with their own ways on how to manage the Earth. So they might be trying to approach the humans in this or that way. It's complicated what's out there.
Well, I understand quite clearly. How many of those races look like humans?
Oh, how many races? You mean in general in the universe?
What you know, but you have seen route.
No, I don't remember because I don't have the exact memory for details.
Except these Pleiades.
Yeah, but in general, I don't remember how many. 400 or 400,000. I don't remember the number. but it's in thousands races that look like humans.
But are they humans, or are they something else?
They are all based on Lyrian root. We are all basically Lyrians. And these are like our main ancestors. And then there are variations. For example, Taygetans will look like humans, but they have some differences within their bodies, their organs, their nervous system. For example, their brain is a one mass. That's one difference with the humans, that we have left and right. And that's why we see everything in a kind of dualistic way, and we divide things. They see things in a, how they call it, holographic way, in a unified way, because they have one mass. So they will look like humans. If you see a Taygetan woman on the street, you would not notice any difference, but inside she is a bit different. The men are a bit different because they are really huge, Taygetan men. So they would stick out more, but still it would be like a human. Then there are others who are looking a little less than humans, but still recognizable as humans. You know, there's so many variations.
How about those little grey ones, what humankind's usual uses with horror stories?
Well, they told us that most of these greys, they are all, again, I don't remember the number, 100 and something types of greys. But most of these greys that do the abductions, for example, they call them the gardeners, and they are actually doing different tasks to maintain the biology of that person. They like taking care of the biology of the race, and many times they have many assignments per night, so they go from one person to another doing different operations, doing different things. Not negative things. It's like we see that as negative because we are afraid, we don't understand, and we interpret that in that way.
Yes.
But they explain that they are just performing their tasks, whatever reason. Sometimes they are even sent by the original starseed race. Like, for example, if you are a starseed from Arcturia, Arcturians will contract those greys to do something on you, for example. And so they are quite unemotional, though, and cold, because they have just so many assignments, so they don't have time to be dealing with you and making sure you're okay, you know, like, yeah, everything is okay. They are very productive. So that's why it seems like this is something negative. Now, I'm not talking about other types of greys who may be doing other types of abductions, and there are also military types of abductions and, you know, all kinds of things. Tall greys, and that's like more towards negative side. But I'm talking about these little greys, gardeners, who are just doing, you know, maintenance work on some of the people.
Are all those aliens what we are talking about now living in physical levels, or are there those alien races which are more like a spiritual beings?
Okay. First, I would like to make a small differentiation between alien and extraterrestrial. Okay. And also it's because they drew my attention to that. Yeah. But when we say alien, it has the kind of a negative association, creates a little bit of fear, you know, it's something that is doesn't belong here, that is coming here to invade us. And then there's extraterrestrial, who is a more of a positive nature, who is taking care of the, you know, and who has our well-being in mind. So I do not call, for example, my Taygetan crew aliens because they are very positive. They have very positive intentions for us, and also they're not alien to Earth. You know, they have been here always. The extraterrestrial presence has always been here. They actually told us that the line between the human and extraterrestrial is so small. Sometimes you don't even know where one ends and the other begins. There are extraterrestrials who come here directly on Earth as step downs, directly from the ships. They mingle with the humans. Others come in using immersion technology, which is that they are actually on the ship and they have their bodies on the ship in a cryo state, and then they divert their points of attention to their avatar on Earth. So they look and act like a human, but they're not. Yes. So that's why the line between what is a human and extraterrestrial is very thin, very, very, very blurry, very foggy. That's why they have always been here. They are part of this world. They are not like alien to us. I'm talking about these that are here, positive ones, because there are other alien, real, truly alien races who are coming from maybe far, far away, and they do try to take over, this place, because they do. There are many of them who try to do that. Something that the Federation is protecting the planet from. Another subject. Okay, so are there physical or spiritual?
Are there both of them? Are there spiritual and physical?
What do you mean spiritual? You mean like they don't have physicality?
Yes.
Oh, well, these ones that I'm speaking to, they are totally physical. They are physical people. Then there are others who are also physical. Everything outside of the earth in the so-called physical world, in the so-called 5D world, is biological. Then there are other realms beyond so-called 5D, 6D, 7D, and whatever, even though they now tell us that they don't like to talk about these, because that's again another categorization, dividing the universe into realms. It's not that easy.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, because sometimes people say that these different realms, 3D, 4D, so on, it's just based on light and how it's vibrating in different levels.
Yes, yes, exactly. But they do explain to us that it's a mental state more than anything. So you can be of a high frequency, vibratory frequency, even within the Earth that is supposedly 3D, and you can be of 5D nature, 5D level of existence. So anyway, that's another topic. So there are, of course, beings and extraterrestrials that are beyond the physical. Of course, it extends all the way back to source. You become, and as you transcend the physical, then you become a different type of being, more collective, more based on energy and just pure thoughts and pure mind, and there are races who exist on those higher levels. Like, for example, Caristus, I think, from Jupiter, they are supposed to be 6D people who actually exist on that higher level, but they come down into the physical when they wish to manifest or perform something. So the universe is full of life and intelligences and all kinds of beings. Earth is just one small place in the universe.
Yes, and unfortunately, it seems that this we are not so clever than we want to be. But anyway, let's move forward. You have talking about quite much about this federation.
Yeah.
And most of people doesn't know what is this federation and what kind of is this instruction when we're talking about those who is ruling our solar system and so on.
Yeah.
So can you a little bit explain and what is it as you see?
Very little bit, because that's such a huge subject, and I just made 5 videos about the federation subject. So if you want to deepen your understanding of what the federation is, but this is a huge conglomerate, a huge organization, ancient organization, who has been set up in ancient times with the purpose originally to defend against the negative races and all that. So the positive, so-called positive races, positive races have gathered up, and they created this organization to support each other, to create alliances and to have this organization. So now they are the supreme managers of the earth. They are the ones who manage this place and who control this place from above. But it's not as simple as that, because they control this place, but it's very complicated. I don't even know how to explain this in a few words. They control this place, but there are levels of control. They are also supposed to be taken into account the collective wants of the humanity. So Yaski insists that the ultimate controllers are the humans, are us from within, because depending on what our consciousness wants to express and wants to manifest and wants to live, the Federation will need to adjust their levels of management based on that. So we are actually the ultimate controllers of the matrix. The problem is that we are heavily manipulated, and most of us don't even know it. So we kind of got ourselves into this trap of a vicious circle, and we are perpetuating the matrix system, which is not positive for us and for our future. So the Federation needs to accept that and respect that, because it's what we perpetuate for ourselves. But the problem is here, like I said, that we perpetuate this because we are so heavily under control. So the Federation views this place, this Earth, as a contained, isolated place, as sort of a game where the people from 5D, from outside Earth and beyond, go in to have a certain type of experience. Because this is one of the places in the universe where you can have really drastic, intense lives, very short. That's why for them it's not even a big deal, because they live up to 1,000, 4,000 years. To have a lifespan over 60 years is like nothing to them. And you can have amazing variety of experiences here. So they see this as a sort of a play field that they manage, where souls can come in and just experience that wide variety of intense dualistic conflicts and experiences. Like I said, you have to go to my channel Cosmic Agency and view all the videos about the Federation and others, because it goes into much more detail.
Yes,
I feel like I'm unable even to explain this in few sentences.
Yeah, but does Earth has own spokesman in this Federation?
It's not well, yes and no. The Federation the Federation actually, this is something controversial, something people don't like to hear, but Federation actually talks to the Illuminati levels. They have a direct line to the Illuminati level, and from there, they make decisions. That's kind of for them. They are sort of spokesmen of the humanity. This is again another issue for our Taygetan friends. They don't agree with that. But yes, the highest level of the Illuminati, and I'm talking about the highest levels, because this is like level after level after level after level, and one level doesn't know that another level on top exists. So you have all these Bilderbergs and Cabals and whatever. And then you have like highest level of Illuminati, and those do have a direct line, not channeling, nothing, direct line to the Federation members, and they communicate and they talk. So there's a lot of politics here involved. This is very important, and interests. There's just so much happening behind the scenes that people don't understand, or that I don't understand. And even Taygetans, they know a lot and they explain a lot, but they cannot know absolutely everything, because this is just so complex. And the politics and agendas and interests change on every level. And the Federation itself, that's important, is a stepped organization. It has a huge amount of levels. And what one level thinks for the Earth, on how it wants to manage the Earth, the ideas it has, differs from what the next level thinks. So it's a very, very, very complex structure, very complex situation for Earth.
Why Federation wants to give a direct line for such persons in Earth who is even more worse than Cabal or Illuminati?
I don't know exactly. I don't know the exact answer to that question. But in one of the videos, I remember it was said that somehow, for them, they are sort of a spokesman, for the Earth. And even Cabal itself, which is a lower level too. Like, for example, they told us in one of the videos that, because the Federation, like I said, it needs to kind of respect what the collective wants. So the Cabal will come to the Federation members and will say, okay, well, this is what the people want. But the thing is that it's the Cabal itself that manipulates people to want certain things, like what's happening now with the treatments, with the, okay. So people want that because they are manipulated into wanting that. So the Cabal tells the Federation members, this is what the people want, and the Federation needs to kind of respect that, and they turn turn the other side. They are permissive of what's happening here. They let the Illuminati and run this place too much. They are being too permissive. That's another thing that our contact complains about. That the Federation is too permissive with this specific situation that's happening on Earth right now. Too permissive with what's happening.
But same time they have been contacted with just regular persons in Earth last 50, 70 years, and they have got a different kind of view about point of view. So
yes. Yeah, because different races might be contacting different people at different points of time and giving them different types of information or whatever. I mean, they told us once that some of these physical so-called contacts may not be even true. Others could be even non-Federation members, because the Federation has a specific rule about and protocols about the contacts. And one of those protocols is no direct physical contact with the people. That's why, among other reasons, why we didn't have like a physical, official contact with them, even though we did see one of them. That's another point here to mention, that we had one of them in front of us. But that's I can say how it came about, another story. But officially, the Federation doesn't allow this type of direct contact. The other experience that some contactees had could have been done by some races that just went against the Federation rules, and then others could have been done by the non-Federation members too.
Is there going some kind of war between races because this is what I have understood?
Well, yes, it depends what type of races we are talking about. Within the Federation races, I wouldn't say it's a war, but definitely there are different agendas and conflicts of interests. Yes, so there are different factions. Like Cabal itself on Earth, they told us, is very divided and it has different factions. Still Cabal, but have different ideas a little bit, and they fight for power. So the same happens on the Federation. They have different agendas and interests and politics, and it changes according to the level, like I said. But then there are other races who are not from the Federation, and they are opposed to the Federation ideas of how to manage the Earth. So then, yes, there are even direct confrontations between those races.
It's easy to understand, because always when human has straight contact to somewhere, it usually brings a war. Yeah. Unfortunately, our history has been shown that.
Yes. But I wouldn't say it's a war out there. No, I wouldn't say it's that way. Also, in the last video, they also explained to us that even the way we understand things on Earth and how they understand things, it's so different that even our understanding of evil and what an evil race is different. Like, for example, for them, if there are certain races that come from outside that don't belong to the Federation and try to take over the Earth, yes, it could be evil, but the Federation sees them as simply races that are contrary to their interests. So, yeah, they try to combat them, and one of their protocols is to keep them away from Earth. But the word evil itself is very relative. Depends on your interests.
Example, one of those characters, Yashi.
Yes, he is.
It's also described as a soldier.
Where?
In the internet page.
Our page?
Yes.
As a soldier?
Yeah, there was a word soldier which was connected to it. So I'm just wondering that is it there on purpose? Maybe a warrior or something. I don't remember exactly what. I don't think we used the word soldier. But Yaski, I would call her. She's a warrior, but with the mind and with the consciousness. Okay. She doesn't go there and and fights directly. Even though I think she could as well, but she's more into the consciousness, because there is a war on Earth, but this is a war for our consciousness and for our perception and our minds. Yes.
This is what's happening right now. Before it was rifles and I don't know, Second World War and all that, bombs. But now it's a different tactic, and it's a war for our perception, our minds, our consciousness, and where to steer it. And they have so many tactics, the controllers, how to do that. So what Yaski tries to do with her information is just to open people's minds to the alternative views and to other ways of perceiving reality, and to empower people. sometimes, like I said, that empowerment will cause a controversy and will cause some, something, she might say something people don't like that fact when she said people that we are not ready for the mass contact, but she gives the reasons. And we have done already, like I said, 250 videos just on the English channel, and they vary from spirituality, biology, science, technology, just every subject, genetics, even politics. Last year.
That is amazing, actually.
Yeah.
Because this information that you are giving there for all human beings are so detailed and exactly information that it's sometimes it's even too hard imagine that how it can be possible. But well, as you said, when they are chatting with you and there is no person involved in it, well, maybe.
No, I would be unable to present this type of information. Also because I'm not a technical person, for example, or scientific. I don't. Some of the times I don't even understand what they are saying when they were describing, the reactors and how they are done and the 0-point technology and how this works. I don't understand. All I can do is just to copy and paste and give it to people, and someone will understand. So I would not be able to come up with that myself.
Well, I agree that because you should be a master of many kind of sciences.
And they are masters of many science. That's another thing that I wanted to say, that they are super holistic in a way that they mix spirituality with technology and science and metaphysics. It's all one for them. There's no separation. Like, for example, in our world, in our even UFO community, there are people who are more into like seeing UFOs and just like nuts and bolts and describing ships, and then it's like, spirituality and consciousness, it's like separated. But for them, this is all one. When they describe how the ship operates and how it travels through time and how actually it reaches the supraluminar flight levels, because they describe how they navigate through ether, and they describe how it, they describe how the ship uses the frequency modulation to travel through the ether, and that's related to how consciousness works. So for them, the science of consciousness and science of technology and the ships, it's all the same to them.
Well, I can understand this for personal reasons. Let's go to message, because this message is also very most important part, actually. If we're thinking about historically, when people had those live contacts with those UFO nods and so on in 1950s, 60s, 70s, there was always a message that people are messing with nature and so on and so on. What is message today? What kind of theme there is?
It's so difficult for me to encapsulate it into just one or few sentences, because there's so many videos and there's like a different moral of the story of each video, depending if you are looking the video with the navigation or genetics or history. They were also talking about ancient history, explaining the pyramids, so many different things. First, make people aware, simple fact, that we are not alone in the universe, and there are humans outside, that we were not created on Earth, and we were not messed with on Earth. It was done by that messing, because many people talk about that we have been genetically altered, and she's explaining how everything was done by the consciousness manipulation, and the consciousness manipulation rewrote our genetics. And that's explained in detail in our video about genetics. So everything she talks about always goes back to the power of consciousness, and who we are, that we are stellar beings, and we are just so manipulated here that it's just so difficult for us to see that. And also we delegate so much power to the governments and to outside authorities, and we are always in a victim mode, in a deterministic deterministic state of looking for guilty ones outside. But yes, first, that we're not alone in the universe, that are human and human people outside, that you have a choice to go to other places after you die, because that's one of the main matrix ideas is to keep you reincarnating here, because you don't know that you have the option. When you die, she explains, is you carry some of these ideas with you. The ideas do not die. They kind of stay with you. That's what defines you. Even after you die.
They also believe reincarnation.
Of course, yes. But it's a much more complicated system than it's not linear. It's not like, that's not a topic. It's very fascinating too. It's not linear. It's actually, because there's no time from the ether level, so you can be reincarnating all over the place and being at the various places at the same time simultaneously and all that. So anyway, after you die, you carry those matrix idea with you, and if you are manipulated to believe that this is the only place to be, and then you have karmas to fix, and then you have to correct things, and you have sins and all that, so that pulls you back to reincarnate again here, to be again here in many cycles, and you're not free. I mean, you always are free, because you are reincarnating back because you want to. But you want to because there are so many manipulated ideas fed into your head, then it's not real freedom. You are basing those ideas and decisions on something someone told you. You have to come back because you need to correct certain things in your life, or there's karma, or there are sins. So what she stresses is that you are free. You are free now, and you are free after life. You can go and enjoy the whole universe. You don't need to be perpetuating the cycle of reincarnation on Earth. So that's a very big one too. So
how about reincarnating to the Earth? Can those, let's say, extraterrestrial races incarnate as human beings here, and can they reincarnate here and keep those memories?
You mean someone from there?
Example.
Oh, someone from there coming here?
Yeah, and live as a human life.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And get that all those knowledge and all that.
Yes, it happens. These are the so-called star seeds. Even though.
Are you one of them?
Me? Well, yes, and you are probably as well. If you are in this, range of work, if you are drawn to these subjects, it's probably because you are from somewhere, and you know that there is more to life. That's what defines your interest, So yeah, I mean, of course, there are millions of star seeds now incarnating on Earth. This is like they told us one of the hugest waves of the star seeds coming, even though they do tell us that we are all extraterrestrials, that we are all extraterrestrial souls. But those star seeds, what we call star seeds, it's referred to the most recent ones, to the ones who maybe are here for the first time or just a few times. So some of them will have a memory, because that's how they planned it from the other side.
Probably also that consciousness which having much more different perception than humans usual.
Yes, of course, and that's what defines us, and that's why it's so difficult for us to live in the system, because we know there are other ways of being and other ways of living, and we have memories of different types of life, and we cannot adapt, and that's why so many starseeds are suffering and are depressed and are anxious, because they feel they don't belong, but you're not supposed to, don't try to fit. You didn't come here to fit. You came here to be you, to insert those other ideas from other places into this place, so we can transform it, so we can somehow inspire this place and inspire the humans who have been in the cycles forever and perpetuating the matrix, and they don't even know they are perpetuating the matrix, and they are suffering, and they don't even know they are creating their own suffering. So some of these starseeds come with the memories. I come with zero memories, memories, specific memories. I have concepts, memories, and feelings, but I don't have specific knowledge of things.
Or perhaps you did have, but it just opened until you reach a certain age.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. I also think that actually we talked about this with them many times. Why don't I have memories, and what's happening? Why so many people do have memories? I don't. But it's kind of helpful for me not to have memories. We talked about this for this project, because it makes it a little bit more credible. If I had memories, if I could tell you from my own knowledge what's going on outside, people would say, I'm making up this contact, that I'm inventing this, that it's me. But I don't have memories. All that information is not mine. It's not coming from me. It's coming from them. So in a way, it validates this contact, my not remembering anything.
Yes. Well, let's go for a little while to your person.
Yeah.
There is a reason why you are now in Finland. Do you wanna open up?
Yeah, but it's actually very simple. We there's nothing mysterious about it. Actually, some of our followers are like, they always try to dig into everything I do, or so it's like, why are you in Finland? Like, what's happening? Like some kind of mysterious, intriguing reason. But no, it's very simple actually. Me and Robert came here last March on vacation.
Yes.
That was before I met Matthias, and me and Robert were friends, and we came here on vacation for a month.
Yes.
Because I always wanted to see Finland. And but it's not the first country that I'm traveling to. I'm always traveling somewhere. So we came to Finland. We were living in Barcelona at that time. We had all our stuff in Barcelona. We came just for a month, one suitcase, and that's where the situation started with the virus. So they closed the borders, and we just could not go back to Spain. And Spain was like one of the epicenters of that. Worst places. So we couldn't really go back. So we decided, okay, so let's just rent something here for a while and see what happens. And that's how it was. And we stayed. And a few months later, we went back to Barcelona fast, like 3 days only to get our stuff, our clothes and stuff. And we came back. And only few weeks after I was here, I met Matthias. That's how we met here.
Perhaps we should invite him as well.
Yes. So let's invite Matthias, because Matthias actually has had the opportunity to speak with them as well. He spoke to Aneka at the time before, and Yaski also. So he has had the experience with them.
Okay. Hello, Matthias.
Hello.
You have been following this conversation of what we have had here, but you have also background with Gosia, and you have been looking those videos much more earlier than you met her, I believe.
Yeah.
So can you tell a little about that, how you came into this topic with Gosia and Cosmic Agency? How did it happen with you?
Well, sure. Actually, first it was through my brother, Mikko, and he actually introduced me to Cosmic Agency. And from there I just started to watch the videos, and eventually sent a friend's request to Gosia on Facebook, which she answered, because she never does accept answers like messages, because she's bombarded with them. So she accepted my friendship, and we started talking, and she actually saw my wallpaper there with this Spartan logo that caught her attention. And then I made this video for the ETs. Back then it was a call for help, or
I was asking people to make videos like expressing what they want and what they wish, to the Federation, express their desires and their visions for the Earth. So he made one of those videos. Yes.
It seems that you have found each other's quite quickly. Was it love in first sight or what?
Yeah, it's kind of like it happened. Like the friend request, and we met. Like, she never meets fans, and she agreed to meet me and my brother, and we met in a location. And from that first meeting, it was like that, and there was this certain energy, like this vibration of energy, and it's something that you just you subconsciously recognize the other one.
Yes.
and you feel the energy. So that was it. It was like instant from my part, and I just knew like I somehow know her from somewhere, that we are linked. And apparently, like, later on, we figured out our stories,
With their help.
Yeah, but pretty much like, I know my story and how I am linked to the T's, to the Taygetans, yeah, and to her. So that's why I would call that we are soulmates. So it's like the natural pull, like, happened, like it was meant to be.
But maybe explain, before you met me, you were watching the videos, so you were interested in the videos.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Yeah, there was a resonance, like pull. Like there was like this inner knowing that even though I don't have my memories, I recognized the information. It resonated within me. It was like, at first, this was like this cognitive resonance kicked in. Like, what is this? Because you have been in the matrix, and you have been brainwashed by the system, like to believe in certain ways. Like she said, how the ETs are seen by other people and stuff like that. So at first it was like, maybe the first video, like, who are we and why we are here, the first videos, I was like, this is interesting. But very quickly that resonance like kicked in, like that's some kind of like inner knowing, and says like, I remember this, I know this, So then it just like started to grow like a avalanche, like it's just the small ball started to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And then, it was like, whoa, this is something incredible, something true.
Well, now you have been seeing her life, and you have had this life together here, and you have seen very close of what she's doing and how she is contacted. What kind of impression it has brought to you? Can you share what you have been noticing?
Well, yeah. We first started to meet in Airbnbs because we lived in different cities. So at first, like, I noticed that she was on her computer, and that's the first time, like, I noticed that this is like real, because she's actually like talking to somebody. And once she started to trust me, I was actually being brought into the conversations. I saw them typing, and eventually I talked with them myself.
Okay. Also through the computer.
Yes.
Okay.
And
you have also own software.
It's a public software.
What you are using?
I don't want to say, because it's like they want to keep it private. But yes, it's like, like before you had MSN, Hotmail, you would just chat to people. It's that. It's nothing special. It's nothing really complicated.
Well, you can transmit audio. Or
we had audio with them. That has to be mentioned, that you just recently, the first audio we had was 2 years ago, when the Taygetan pilot, actually, the man, contacted us through the audio, so we could hear his voice and talk to him on audio. Something that the Federation was very angry about, actually, too. That was like against the protocols. And then a few weeks ago, Yaski, for the first time, also connected through the audio.
So it can be example like a WhatsApp group with those other people.
Yeah,
those
something like that. But example, because it's not WhatsApp, but it's exactly. We are like in different groups, and you can have a private conversation, or you can have groups.
Yeah, you can make like servers, and you can invite people to that server, and then you can have a conversation.
Yes.
So anyway, so you heard Yaski too, and
yeah. So yeah,
you have heard as audio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did she?
Well, she used some kind of like I don't know what's the right word, like emulator or something like syntheticator. It wasn't her real voice.
Okay.
But because she had to
do it. It's also the reason is because the Federation puts the limits on what goes through, what kinds of files go through, because they are not supposed to send, for example, real photos, or for example, send videos. So they put restrictions on those types of files. So in order for her to transmit the audio, she needed to somehow disguise the file as something else. So I'm not a technical person, so again, I don't understand this, but that's why the voice was not really her. It was her, but it was a bit distorted.
Yeah, and it breaks a little bit. Like you can see her. I mean, you can hear her saying words, but like when she started to speak sentences, it maybe cuts here and there.
Yeah.
A little bit. So it wasn't perfect, but hey, it's the first step.
But the audio with the pilot, with the man, was perfect, and it was his voice, because the way he was connecting was actually, he was going with his ship down into the low orbit, and he was connecting outside of Federation servers, so he could connect exactly. But anyway, these are not relevant details, I think, maybe for your public so much.
Well.
We're going into the real details here.
Yeah.
But the point is that there has been audio and there has been chat, and I've been involved with this as long as I've been with her now, since 2019 March.
Last year.
Oh yeah,
2020.
sorry, yeah, 2020
Only
March.
1 year. Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, that's sounds a very nice love story as well, but but also nice to hear about this, that it's how it has been involving you as well inside of this group, and you have been seeing and hearing and can actually prove her words actually.
Yeah, because I believe I had my crisis, so to speak, what is my mission, why I'm here, I guess all the star seeds have, that question. And then I realized that I'm just here for her. I came here for her, and I'm just I support her with her work. So I upload the transcripts to the website and do some other stuff. So I'm just here for her, and help her with her work. And I think that's my mission here. So that's one of the reasons too. I think why we were brought together.
Okay. So you see your role as a companion of her, but you don't see your role that you have something to do with these Taygetans and this contact, or?
Well, it was confirmed that I'm actually a Taygetan as well, or from there.
Well, your role is he supports the website. He puts all the transcripts on the website.
Yeah.
So he supports with that, and he deals with the translations, because people do a lot of translations, and he manages the translations as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other link, that why we report together, I think because we are the same group. So that's why, because I think in order to actually be inside like this, doing you need to do this work with somebody you actually trust. So it becomes with trust. So I think this is why we met, because this is too much for her to do by herself, or actually she could do this by herself, but it's just too much work. So I'm just helping with her work, and it helps to do this, uploading this material to the website and all, if you trust the other one. So I think that's why I'm here, I'm her partner, we trust each other, and it just makes her job so much easier this way.
Yeah.
And because we share the same connection.
Yeah. And when this Corona thing is over, what kind of plans you have? Are you planning to stay in Finland, or going to travel to the example to Spain and doing
Is it
work?
going to be over? I don't know about that. I mean, maybe it's going to be over. I don't know, but with the situation of the rokote and all that, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen with the traveling and everything, and because I'm not going to be taking any rokote, or I'm not going to be taking any PCR tests. So I don't know. But
her priorities is her. This project of hers is her priority, So that's her work, She's committed to do these videos, and give, all that is given, also give that to the people. So so that's her priority here. But also I know that she loves to travel. She loves it, and she likes solitude. So I know that, you know, if the restrictions are lifted, I know that she would love to go to visit like other places and travel. But this is also like her priority is also the work.
Yes. You actually have written a book about traveling.
And she actually has she actually has a travel channel.
Yes,
I have a travel channel too when I make
what is,
travel video.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, that I put the travel. It's like a hobby on the side, but yes, my priority is this work, because just like Jaski and Svarus, I have this like drive and this anxiety almost to share everything that's given to me. You know, and there's so much always given, even in a private conversation like about personal stuff. There's always something that could be used for the public, and I feel bad if I don't share it. Like I feel like I have to share it. I have to share everything. You know, it's like for the humanity, for the people, and there's just so much always accumulating. I'm so much behind the videos, and I do this in Spanish and in English, so everything has to be doubled.
Yes.
I do the video in Spanish and the same in English, translating, you know, all that, always.
It's time consuming.
It's very time consuming. And then you have to understand that to get one of those videos out and to edit it, first I need to be with them and to receive that information. And it takes time because they type.
Yes.
So typing takes forever as well for them. You know, it's very draining. So it's a lot of effort on their side as well. And the computers make them very tired, because the computers make everybody tired, but especially them, because they are they are more energetic. So they are physical, but they are more energetic, meaning that things just manifest faster for them, and there's a lot of negativity happening around Earth. So whatever they deal with here, dealing with humans and Earth, it affects them more, because here we are like immersed in a soup of negativities, you know, all that conflicts. Like we are very immune to that even, but they are less immune. So they get sick, you know, they get burnt out very easily. So that also affects, you know, how much topics I can get from them, you know, because we need to manage that. We need to take care of their health as well, and our own.
Yes.
Because it's very stressful, and there is a lot of things happening behind the scenes too. Like there is one thing Robert always says that in his videos. There is a work for the public, and there is like all these stories and all these private things that are happening like behind the scenes.
Cosmic drama.
Like dramas and, you know, things, personal stuff. They're friends, you know. We spend hours with them talking about personal stuff. It's not just work.
Yes.
And there's a lot of going on out there in space and in their lives, you know. They are there, now they are not here, Taygetans themselves, but when they were here, I mean, they are here for years, and in this steel can, as they call it. Even though the ship itself is big, it can do many things, but it's very artificial. Everything is, you know, there's nothing really natural, you know, in their ship specifically. Everything is technological, and it's not easy, you know, to float in space, as they say, and just be there for years. It's very draining for them.
Yes. Well, I know that you are soon entering front of the Finnish people and Finnish audience in Happening. Do you want to tell something about it?
Will you do the translations? Maybe he will do the translations when I...
Yeah, the UFO seminar.
Yes.
Yeah, the UFO seminar in September.
Yes.
Where we were invited. Robert also will be speaking, and there's going to be a Spanish translator. So yeah, we'll be there for 3 days. I don't remember, 19th of September, more or less. And yeah, I want to invite everybody who's watching to come and to. It's going to be in a nice place at the lake somewhere in the forest. So yeah, it's going to be the first time in Finland and the third time ever that I do some type of conference, because I don't really go participate in conferences much.
Yes.
Yeah, one was in Barcelona and the one was Las Vegas.
Yeah,
right?
the first one was in Barcelona, in our place, and then in Las Vegas, in Laughlin, in Nevada, for a UFO mega conference last year too.
Well, it's time to thank you, both of you, for this interview. And it was an honor to meet you, Gosia, honor to meet you, Matthias. And I wish all good for your projects, your work, everything what comes forward with in life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you on YouTube.
Thank you.
See you everybody. Terve, heippa!